Honor to welcome you all to Hive Park open stage section of this convention. During this meeting, we'll be introducing bee lovers from artists to beekeepers and beehive builders who will describe their daily experience with bees. To explain their thoughts and on this fascinating subject. Our first speaker is Matan Israeli. He's a co-founder of Muslala Foundation. Matan, the speaker is yours.
Okay, I'm not even on mute. Hello, everyone. This is very exciting to be here today. I see so many familiar faces and faces that I'm sure that one day we will be friends. I think to be here today and among bee lovers is something that shows how this small insect works. Everybody in the end fall in love with him, and this is why we are all zooming here about it. And this is what also happened for us in Muslala. I think it was something like 6 years ago when we moved to the Klal building in Jerusalem, that we also met Yossi Ud, that's soon going to be part of this entire story. You will meet him many times over this day, probably. And he introduced us to the wonderful magic of the bee world. And then we established the first beehive on the rooftop of the building. And then it started to do its magic. And it became kind of like the center of the entire park. For those of you who haven't been here in Jerusalem, I just will say in a few words that the centers that the Muslala Center, the main one of them, we have 3 actually, is located on top of a big commercial center that for 40 years was underdeveloped or considered the white elephant of Jerusalem. And thanks to what we're doing today, opening a huge park, imagine a huge green park on top of a building, and you'll see on one of your Zoom cameras, you'll see propolis beehive, you'll see the bees coming in and out. So this is in one corner of our rooftop. Since it has become a nationwide known attraction, and even tourists from all over the world come here on normal times. And it became a center for sustainability, for urban renewal, for urban farming, urban agriculture, and creativity from all kinds. For us, bees are, let's say, the way that we think about magic, wilderness in nature, and how we can reintegrate it back to our lives. And they are great teachers, and I'm looking forward for this day to learn from all the perspectives that other people here have and will share with us. So thank you very much for joining us, and I'm sure we'll see you along this beautiful day. Ravit, the stage is yours.
Thank you. Okay, the next guest I have the honor to introduce is Dorit Hassin from Dizengoff Center. Dorit, the microphone is yours.
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, Dorit, perfect.
Hello, hi, nice to meet you. My name is Dorit. I'm the Sustainability Manager of Dizengoff Center. It's the oldest shopping mall in Israel, and I guess you ask yourself why a shopping mall is doing sustainability. So we got many reasons, especially mostly to balance all our impacts on the environment. And we have few projects here on the rooftop of the shopping mall. So I'll show you very shortly a few projects, and then I'll speak about our beehives. So the first project I see you, can you hear my camera? Can you see my camera?
Yes, looking good.
Okay. So the first one is a hydroponic greenhouse. We grow here vegetables on the rooftop, and everything grows in water. I hope you can see the roots of this basilicum, which grows in water. And we do it as part of our sustainability concept. So we have here lots of lettuce and basil and all kinds of other greens. I hope you can see. We also have here aquaponic system that works with the fish nutrient the plants, and so I pass here very, very quickly just to go to the other places. So this is a short glance at the greenhouse, and we go now to see some other projects. So the next place I show you is the butterflies. Garden that is supposed to attract butterflies. It's planned to attract butterflies. It's designed so. And you have here a little spot of water that attracts the butterflies, and also specific species of specific kinds of plants that attract butterflies to lay. And that's how in the spring we normally have butterflies here. Today in Israel it's nearly 40 degrees, so I'm cooked a little bit here on the roof. And there are no butterflies, but some other times we have some butterflies here. And we go to the next place.
לא שומע עכשיו.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you well.
Okay, very good. So this is also some hydroponic system on the roofs of the, there is a gym here, so we put some, on the roofs of the gym, some plants. And the next place is a trees nursery. So you can see here, we have a project with a project that goes for 7 years. We bring here every year in Tu B'Shvat, it's the trees holiday in Israel. We bring it 1,500 children, and they plant little plants, and we grow it here on the rooftop. We grow it for 1 year, and then we send all these trees to plant all over the country. We donate it to all kinds of municipalities, schools, and whoever is willing to plant the trees. And that's how we balance our emissions, our CO2 emissions. So we tried to lower a little bit our bad impact on the environment. And now we go straight to the beehives. You can see it's very hot today, so the flowers look a little bit tired, but it normally looks very nice. And we have here some center. It's a center for Beehive Center. And what we see here is, in fact, 3 active beehives that Yossi Ud built for us. We work, of course, with Yossi. So this is one beehive, another beehive, and this one is quite new. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to use it yet, but it's quite new here, as you can see. And once we open this, I don't know how to do this, Yossi, you have to show me. But once we open this, it's a see-through beehive.
דורית, לא שומעים אותך, וגם תלכי יותר לאט עם המצלמה. We are not hearing you, דורית. You are in mute. Now she disappeared.
Yeah, let's give it a second. Dorit. Well, she told me in some part. Okay, now? Yeah, but we can't see it yet.
Okay, but you cannot see. 1 second, I'll try again.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
You can see the camera?
Perfect.
Yeah, please, Dorit, go close to the beehive a little closer and slowly, because you're running too fast from.
Yeah. Okay. So you can see and hear now?
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So we have here 3 beehives that Yossi built for us. This is the first one, I hope you see it. And this is the second one, which are very active. And there is a third beehive, which is very nice, and it's quite new here. This beehive is a see-through beehive. We can open this. I cannot do this now because it's quite new and I don't know how. But once we open this, we can see from the middle of it, we can see the bottom part, and we can see the bees working, and it should be really nice. It's amazing. It's only 2 days here, so I don't know yet how to operate this.
On the continue, we have the people that built this beehive. They have a little session here on later.
Okay, wonderful. I'll stay to hear them. So the idea is that we decided to support the movement of bringing the bees, the disappearing bees back to the world, because as you probably all know, they are responsible for at least a third of the food in the world, and they do a lot of good in the world. So we try to keep them and make them coming back. We grow them in a, okay? We grow them in a biodynamic way. We do not harvest the honey. We don't interfere. We don't do anything. We just let the bees be. And we bring groups to study how to grow bees, how to treat bees, and why they are important. So this is another project we have here. Also, I don't know if you know, but Yossi established, it's called the Magen Dvorim Adom, kind of a red cross for the bees. And the idea is to save bees. And we tell people who come here for tours, we explain them that if they see bees nearby and they're afraid, they have to keep them and call the Red Cross of the bees. And then the volunteers come and they move the colony to our place or to other places. So this is another thing we are part of, at least with publishing it. We also had a red worms composter here. And the last thing that is concerning the activity of this center is a kind of insect hotel. Here we try to make the insects come here, stay here, multiple here, and keep living in an urban area. So this is a very short glance of our center, and I hope you'll come and visit us one day. שחר?
כן, דורית. Yes.
או שנעלם?
No, we heard you perfectly until 5 seconds ago.
Until 5 seconds, okay.
Yeah,
so
it's okay.
So I think you saw the beehives, and the last thing I tried to show you is the insect hotel, which we built here, Yossi built here with a group of bee lovers, in order to bring the bees back to the insects, back to the urban area, to grow here, to hide here, to multiple here, and to make their whole life cycle in this nice hotel, 5 stars. And this is about, in a short glance, our projects here, just to make people be aware of urban nature and urban farming. And thank you to Yossi for supporting this important project here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Devi.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Rabbi, the mic is yours.
The mic is yours.
Hi. Okay, our next guest had the honor to introduce you to is Itamar Tal, an artist who inspired by bees and combined them in his art. Itamar will be sharing with us a short film of his work. Itamar, we're waiting.
Sorry, we did. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Itamar. Just a second. Okay, Avi.
Okay, I'm honored to introduce you to our next guest, is Lavender Grace, a cultural ambassador of bees from Mendocino, California. Lavender, we are with you.
Hello. I am with you too, here in the bright early morning, well, dark morning of Northern California. So yes, my name is Lavender Grace, and I wanted to share both my personal and my professional experience with the bees. To begin, I would like to share a song. The whole day I spent in high tech, trying to present to you this wonderful video that was really going to be amazing. And just before there were other plans. So I was meant to be here with you, just me, and I'm going to share a little song. Hopefully you can hear through this medium, and I will share this and then share it. So this is my personal work. The bees have really touched me in my heart and in my song, and my expression of their beauty comes through my art in my music. So I will share this with you and then move into my professional work with the bees. So I hope you enjoy this. I am honored to be here with all of you, and I am so grateful that we are doing this work and supporting each other in this work. So thank you. I fly for nectar, I fly for resin, I fly for pollination. I am bee, 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 bee. I am bee, 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 bee. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. I am bee, 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 bee. I am bee, 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 bee. I dance for nourishment. I dance to show the way. I dance for beauty. I am bee, 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 bee. I sing for beauty. I sing for the health of creation. I am bee, 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 bee. 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 Oh, 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 hey, 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 hey. Oh, I am bee.
Woo!
So that came from my hive that is called, actually my daughter named it Menorah. And so they gave me that song. And there will be a video coming shortly, so if you want to hear it again and learn it, and it has the words on it. And I want to share that because they gave it to me to share with you all. So my professional work, I work as a sustainable ecology advocate for Thanksgiving Coffee Company here in Northern California in Mendocino. And I am a cultural ambassador to Unite Pollinator Protectors for the Health of the Planet. And we are, my work with the bees has come from a creative process and a problem solving as well that has shown a path that illustrates how a mutual network of pollinator protectors can restore and regenerate our ecology, one home, one business, and one community at a time. So a few months ago, this vision that I had came into being, and it is called the Be Bold Alliance. This is a regenerative ecology network that is able to ignite our own responsibility as stewards of the planet and support one another to respect and honor the earth. So people everywhere have slowed down due to the C-19, and we have this amazing opportunity to redefine our relationship with the natural world and our place in it. And so the Be Bold Alliance has been created with the four main aspects of structure of ecology. And I have had many consultants to help me form this. So we have the cultural element, which is the part that that moves me mostly, which is the wisdom and beauty of our artists and our cultural aspect. And this is helping people bring beauty, which is so important in our health, in our emotional health. And that helps us, our emotional health helps us to stay present and be present with our bees. There's also the provisioning, where we call upon those who provide our food and our medicines, and they help nourish us and keep healthy and support our immune systems. And as we support our immune systems, we can also understand how to support the bees' immune systems. The other is the regulatory, and this is where we connect with food policy makers and beekeepers and water protectors to provide structure and the resilience that is so much needed right now. And lastly is the supportive aspect. So we're working with people who create soil and grow soil. And they are scientists as well and biologists who support the web of life that is beneath our feet, that is so important to keep healthy. So this project, as I mentioned, is a part of Thanksgiving Coffee Company. And we are a certified B Corp, and that is business doing business as a force of good. And so there's actually a certification process that is very rigorous. And up till now, there is no organic land management, which is identifying the elements that are causing so much harm to our pollinators. So we're in the process of implementing this organic land management into the assessment process with the B Corps community. So currently there's 3,000 B Corps out there in 71 different countries, and it's across 150 industries. And so once this is in place, this could have a really wonderful impact. It's going to have an amazing impact to help protect the pollinators here throughout the world. So because we are a coffee company, we fueled this alliance with coffee sales of a Bee Bold coffee. And so I'll show you, here's our Bee Bold, there's our bee. And we partner with bee-centric organizations and offer this as a fundraising opportunity for them. And currently we are working with 3 different bee-centric organizations, one here, Bee Bold Mendocino, and we are the first bee city in the US, in the United States. I'm sorry, we are the first bee city in California, and we're working to be the first bee-friendly city in, let me start over, the first bee-centric county in California. So we're working on that, and we also are supporting the work of the Preservation Beekeeping Council, which is Jacqueline Freeman's nonprofit. And so I feel very honored to be working with her and supporting that work through this Bee Bold Alliance. And we're also working with the Bee City USA in Berkeley at their UC campus. So we have the fundraising aspect of the Alliance, and then we also have the pledge. We have the Pollinator Protector Pledge. And people are asked to take this pledge, sign it. Basically, it says to honor the earth and respect the water and be a pollinator protector. And just those 2 things alone would have such an amazing impact on the way our natural world grows. So that's what we're focusing on there, and implementing organic land management at your home, at your business, and in your community. So next is we are encouraging and supporting people with resources to create their sanctuaries, their bee sanctuaries. And this isn't just planting forage. It is planting forage, it is making sure your soil is healthy, it is making sure you have clean water, but it is also bringing in that element of beauty that I talked about, and art, and making sure that this is a place, creating a genius loci, a place of total beauty for yourself and for the pollinators. So lastly, and very importantly, another aspect of this Bee Bold Alliance is we are working in collaboration with the First Nations people to sponsor native pollinator protector gardens. And this is for food security and traditional foraging for local tribes. And so we've already begun our first collaboration with the Sherwood Valley Pomo Native tribe of our local area. So in closing, my friends and my bee lovers, thank you so much for listening. I just wanted to let you know that the Bee Bold Alliance shows a way we can band together as pollinator protectors, united for the health of the planet for generations to come. So I am honored to be here with you all and to learn from your visions and to share in the goodness of life. So thank you so very much for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, dear Lavender Grace. Love it.
Hi, our next honorable guest is Dalia Shacham, the Rabbi of a new light community in Hyde Park. Dalia, we are with you.
Unmute, and I just realized that my name was in Hebrew, so I'm changing it. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for organizing, for inviting, for this beautiful opportunity to be part of this amazing circle, even though we're all in, maybe it's a hexagon, but we're all in squares, right? But the circle here is the feeling of really being together on this issue that unites us. As Rabbi said, I'm a rabbi here in Israel, in Haifa, and my connection to this remarkable animal has come to me in a more spiritual way through things that happened way in the past. I would like to share with you some images and a few words about this journey that I was on through my ordination as a rabbi, researching an ancient character that appears in the Hebrew Bible in the book of Judges, chapters 4 and 5, called Devora HaNevi'ah. Devora means bee, the prophetess. So it was a journey that started. I will talk a little bit about why, but I want to share with you that at the end of it, this is what the introduction to my thesis looked like. I ended up drawing hexagons all over the place and figuring out why this shape is also the shape of the Star of David and why this shape is so significant spiritually, fundamentally to me. So just a few words about why I'm a rabbi and what made me go on this journey is this quest for unity, for peace, peace between nations, peace between humanity and creation, and to a large extent, peace between the sexes and the genders of humankind. And in this story, the story of Devora, Bee, the prophetess, is a story that I heard very long time ago, and it stuck with me. It's only 2 chapters in the Bible, but it starts with these words presenting to us a woman who is a prophetess and also a judge. And in these 2 chapters, we hear that she was also a military leader and a poet. To be both a prophet and a judge means political leader in biblical terms. So it's both a spiritual leader and a political leader. In the history of the Bible, the spiritual history of the Jewish people, there were only two other people who were both a prophet and a judge. And that is Moses, who took the people of Israel out of Egypt, and Samuel, who made them from tribes into one united nation. So Dvorah, this woman, and both of them have quite a few books dedicated to them, but this woman at the center of the plot has these 2 chapters hidden in quite a forgotten book in the Bible. And in those 2 chapters, we're told that the people come to her and she says, look, there's trouble up north. We need to fight to liberate our people. The man in the story tells her, I will not go if you don't go with me. And she says, I'll go with you, but the victory will be given to a woman. It is a woman who knows when to sit still and have people come to her. She is a woman who knows when to ride into battle. She is then a woman who knows how to sing God's praise once the battle is won. And through this praise, not only be happy, but also mention in her song the sadness of the bereaved mother of the enemy. And also to mention the nameless women who have been raped through past battles and wars. And I was just fascinated with this character. Not enough does she do all that. At the end of the story, she brings peace to the land for 40 years. So I was drawn into this story, this question of what does it mean that this is the feminine leadership that we have inherited from a 3,000-year-old story. And looking at it, I could not help but notice the first thing in the story, and that is her name, Dvora, Bee. Dvora is also from the root dibur, which is to speak, and also davar, which is just a thing, and that is really the verb of creation. creation, according to our creation story, is done by words, by speaking. And this link between this leader, woman leader, and that insect, and also this action of speaking and saying things, was mind-boggling to me. So when I started researching, and some things that I found out I wanna share, that bees, the creature itself, have a lot in common with prophets, with priests, and with goddesses. So in terms of prophet, something that I discovered was that there are bees who are actually prophets. So, and they're all females, but their role is to leave the hive on their own, for a distance, to get a vision, and then they return to the hive and they tell the story to the other bees in the hive. And you have photos of that. If you look for bees prophet on YouTube, you'll see bees returning to the hive, and then they do a little dance and song, and there are bees centered around them. And then all the bees that see the song, they get the message of the vision, and they fly on their own to find the pollen. So this role of bees that there is within the hive, a role for leaders who go a long way to bring a vision back, was something very strong to me. A bit about being a priestess. And here I'm going back to my, to this, and going to page, I think it's 15. Yes. So the way that Devora, this prophetess, this leader, is portrayed is that she is a woman of flames, Eshet Lapidot, sitting under a tree on the top of a mountain, and people are coming up to her to hear her words. It is really a picture of a priestess of the ancient goddess of Asherah, who was the goddess of creation, the goddess of fertility, the goddess of trees, and that really kept creation together. The fact that this woman is there in a land that the Bible calls, and we still call till today, and next week is the holiday of Shavuot, the land of milk and honey. The fact that what makes this land special is that there is milk, there's livelihood, and there's honey, there are blossoms. And we all know that there's argument whether this honey is bee honey or plant honey, but it really doesn't matter, as we all know, because plant honey also comes from the fact that we have bees who can fertilize and bring us this diversity and livelihood of creation. So this notion of bees being godly in this name Dvora was always also pushed forward by the fact that bees have been considered holy by many cultures. So this is other indications of holiness. And I'm sorry, this is all in Hebrew, but here we have this coin from 4th century BC, so about 2,400 years ago, in Greece, with a bee on one side and an ibex on the other side. And bees in Greece were considered, Melissa is one of the sirens in Greek mythology, and the curtains to the shrine of Aphrodite, the goddess of love, they were called hymen, the word that we use today for kurum betulin, for this enchanted organ of a woman, but they were called, they were the wings, and they're named after the wings of the bee. So the wings of the bee, these magical things that make this amazing body fly, the science is not sure how exactly, because they're so light and she's so heavy in relation. These transparent things are the godly entrance to the land of love. And bees have been worshipped in cultures around the world exactly for that. They've also been worshipped as symbols of female strength in terms of war. This is Bhramari Devi, who is the goddess of bees and other insects. And in Indian mythology, in Hindu mythology, she helps the god Shiva win against the god of the demons. So again, it's this story about a woman bringing feminine power, the power of bees, to win a war and bring peace after that war. And it's a bloodless war. It's the war of nature. It's the war of bringing again unity and reclaiming the strength of the creatures that bring life to us, and reclaiming the unity that we can feel together with these creatures. I will say just one more thing that I discovered. I can really teach a year-long course about this. There's numerous pages and images and ideas. But one thing that I discovered about bees in the land where I live, and about feminism, because feminism, this is all to me an exercise in spiritual feminism. And that is the type of feminism that rediscovers and reclaims the old ways of harmony between us. And I learned that in the land of Israel, Palestine, this one united, connected land, there are more than 1,100, so 1,100 types of wild bees. But there are only 2 types of honeybees. And the wild bees are really a diverse creation in terms of the family, the community, the sex life that they lead, the type of production that they produce. The one thing that they all have in common is that they make the world blossom just by being themselves. But this diversity, this liberty to be different in many ways and still being and creating and helping us live, I think that is a great gospel to us as human beings, to not be only producing. Our role is not just to produce honey. Our role is not just to be productive and helpful to other creatures who control us. Our role is to be ourselves as much as possible and in many ways as possible. So that is the message that I have from bees. And thank you for listening.
אוהבי.
Thank you. The next guest I have the honor to introduce is the lawyer and the member of Magen Dvorim, the Israeli honeybee care.
בקושי שומעים אותך, רבית.
Sorry.
רבית, סליחה.
The next guest I have to honor to introduce is the lawyer and the member of Magen Dvorim, the Israeli Honeybee Care Association, Oron Schwartz. Oron, the mic is yours.
Hello, people. I'm very excited to see people coming from all over the world with mutual interest and mutual love to bees. It's most moving and touching. I am a member of a bunch of crazy people, enthusiasts. All has got careers, has got jobs, has got families, has got children. And the passion for bees and the passion for environment has united them. And Yossi Ud, who is the head of the crazy people, decided many years ago that he understood that bees extinction is a problem on one hand, and the fascination of this wonderful organism, a beehive, has taken him. And with his charisma, he managed to gather many followers behind him. And during the last decade or so, Yossi, together with some other enthusiasts, began thinking of how we could save feral bees and feral hives and bees that reside in people's living rooms or on the trees, and how could we treat them and save them and not hurt them on one hand, and on the other hand, how could we educate the people in the city dwellers and the children that bees are a wonderful creature, a good creature, and a most important a creature to the society and environment. So Yossi had the idea, together with other enthusiasts, as I said, of creating an organization, an NGO, a non-profit organization that would handle the evacuation of such hives that enter people's homes. And on the other hand, would educate people that hives could be sometimes be let alone. And on other aspects that hives could be grown in the city. And that hives and bees are not dangerous, malicious creatures as many people who doesn't have the right education think so. So the idea was thinking about an organization called the Red Star of David Bee Association. Just a single word about what does it mean, Magen David Adom. Magen David Adom, a Red Star of David, is the equivalent of the Red Cross or the Red Crescent, if you'd wish. The idea was to give an SOS evacuation services to people that would call anywhere across Israel, and would say, I have a beehive here, what do I do? And the first thing was to calm them down and tell them, okay, we're gonna treat it. Bees are okay, bees are not dangerous, and to connect them to one of our volunteers. During the year, the past, I think, decade, we've managed to get along with something like 200 volunteers that work with us. They're all connected into a very efficient communication lines. And as soon there's one call for help, the other volunteers knows exactly to which field volunteer this call should be sent to. And we could say that during this kind of season from March until June or even a bit later, we have something like between 10 and 30 and sometimes even 40 and 50 calls a day. And they are all being treated. And one of the other aspects was, of course, education. And education was needed to be done on several fields. First of all, Yossi and other volunteers are going to schools, meeting children, because we understand that the understanding for the necessity of saving beehives would start with the young children. So many projects were made during the last years of educating children to grow beehives, and for biodynamic systems and the methods of growing bees was emphasized. And also building communal beehives in the cities. That was, I could say that was a revolution. I think until 10 years ago, nobody could think about educating people about the necessity of having beehives in the cities and the necessity of evacuating a feral beehive and not making its extinction. So I think Israel in the past decade or so, thanks a lot to the enthusiasts and Yossi with them, really made a change in the people's viewpoint here in Israel. And I think we're going to make a hell of a thing with this kind of organization. We're expecting more volunteers and more awareness and more people that would like to use our services. And we wish to have it, a cross boundaries, cross culture organization as much as we can. And when you look at bees and this wonderful creature and its wonderful organization, you cannot stand still and not say, wow. So thank you guys, and thank you for gathering here. It's really moving. And thank you, Yossi, as well. And thank you, Shachar, and thank you, Ravit, for having the opportunity of emphasizing our organization's causes and methods. Thank you.
Our next guests are Eran and Yuval Ivri. the establishment of Ivri Bee, a unique beehive for home and educational use. Eran and Yuval, we are with you.
Eran and Yuval, the mic is yours if you can unmute yourselves. No, we can't hear you yet.
עוד שנייה, just a second. Can you see the sharing screen? Yossi? Yossi?
כן, רואים.
Okay.
Eran, we can see your desktop, I think. Okay, now it's good.
אוקיי. רואים אותנו?
כן, מקסים, רואים, שומעים.
רואים, שומעים? אנחנו לא רואים אתכם עוד רגע.
Okay. I forgot myself that we're supposed to do this.
Okay, now we can see you. Any questions? לא רואים, לא שומעים.
Raise your hand if you want us to unmute you. Okay, we have Yam Greenstein. Just a second. Yam, we can't hear you yet. Okay, now? Yeah, thank you. Yes, thank you.
אני פשוט הייתי סקרנית להבין מאיזה חומר זה איך זה נקרא הדבר הזה, הבית של הדבורים?
So Yam is curious what is it made of? What are the materials?
Made of flexible plywood.
מה? לא הבנתי.
זה עשוי מסנדוויץ' מדיקט גמיש. משתי שכבות, וביניהם יש 30 מילימטר של פוליוריטן, בידוד. קצף פוליוריטן.
אוקיי. כן. ואם בן אדם רוצה בעיר לעשות כזה דבר, אז...
And if someone wants to use it in the city...
אני יכולה לדבר אנגלית, Okay, what if let's say I want to make it on my roof? So, then I also have to put lots of flowers, and it's not enough that I have this thing, right? How do I, if like one private person want to do this, what do I need to have?
You can receive Yam, it's a good question. Yam, it's a good question. We can talk about it later if you like. To call me or to call Ivry, and we will talk about it later, I think. Okay?
Where do I find you? How do I?
Yossi Oud. Make in Google Yossi Oud, you will find me.
Oud.
Oud. A-U-D. Aleph Vav Dalet.
Yossi Oud. Okay. Yossi.
Thank you, Yam. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some more questions. Yuval and Ivry? Yeah, Tarek, please.
Hi, everyone. It looks really good, this product. I do have one question about the heat. Is the glass affecting the heat inside the box itself? Because the wood, it's almost the temperature and it's humid more than glass. And how much will cost such a thing like that?
The glass, it's not a glass, it's a polycarbonate. It's polycarbonate and it's covered most of the time. Right. It's 3.5 centimeter covered, and it's insulated, and there is some holes in the top part. And we check the humidity and the temperature, and it stays the same in the winter, and now in the summer it's 35 plus minus all the day. We monitoring the temperature and the humidity. For the last 2 months, and it stays very accurate, around 35 degrees.
Okay, thank you.
How much will cost such a thing?
I'm sorry, Tarek. We need to move on. So if someone wants to ask questions about this amazing thing that Yuval and Eran make, you can contact us, and we'll give you their details, and you can ask them as many questions as you like. Is it true? Your family? Okay, please, thank you very much. Please, you can write your contact information in the chat. Thank you very much. Ravit.
Thank you. What a wonderful idea. Now our next guest is Liat Danieli, a multidisciplinary artist who's specializing in installation and bioart. Liat, we are with you.
Hi, everyone. So good to see you. And thank you for the opportunity to be here with you today. My name is Liat Danieli. I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I do installation art. One moment, I want to change something. Okay. I do installation art, bioart, sculpture. My recent project is now presented at the Alfred Gallery, which I'm also a member. My starting point of this project was start with the magic. One day I was in my room and I heard someone playing a sitar, and no one was there. And I went to the sitar and I saw bees crossing by the strings, and they were playing on the sitar, on the guitar. So I was thinking, okay, I'm gonna make a music tool, which inside of is a resonance box, there will be bees. But I didn't know how to do that. And I was start looking for information, and then I found Yossi Oud. Actually, we met at Muslala, the first meeting. And he's the one that teach me about the bees and guide me how to make the sitar, and he's the, I love you, Yossi. I'm very excited, even though we are not in the same room, I'm very excited to speak here in front of you. So at that point, me and Yossi start working together till now, actually. And the guy named Gidon Wiegert built the sitar. I planted, and he's the one who built it. Shachar, is it possible to show the roof video? So I made a garden on the rooftop of the Alfred Gallery. It's wildflowers and nectar flower and plants, all for the bees. I put the bees inside the sitar. Sitar, it's an Indian music tool. The idea was that maybe with their wings, they will play on top of the strings. And I wanted that the resonance, that the vibration of the sitar will be similar to the vibrate that the bees do in the vibration of love. Because the sitar have top strings and the under strings are vibrating when you play on the top of them. Can you make it with sound, Shachar? I think the file is too heavy.
Yeah, you can't hear it?
No, I cannot.
No. Oh. Sorry, I'll try to... Sorry. I'll try to do it again. Just a second.
All this project was like making a big human hive, because everything that I made over there was in cooperation with many people. Because as you see, it's a big garden, and I didn't know how to do most of the things. And now you can hear it. So the rooftop, it's nearby the railway building.
Now you can hear it, right?
No, it stopped.
Yeah, I let the half, like the end, just to hear the bees. Yeah.
Okay, can we do it again?
The roof or the gallery?
The roof, and then the gallery. I will tell you what.
Okay, just a second.
So I put microphone near the sitar, and all the sounds of the bees and the sound that surround the sitar, the bees playing on the sitar, everything is transformed to the gallery downstairs. And in the gallery downstairs, I wanted to make the feeling of the hive inside, how it feels to be inside the beehive. As you see, the microphone here, and the sitar, and the building around it. It's in the center of Tel Aviv. All the flowers. Now it's summer, so the garden is starting to get dry. Now we can see the gallery video.
Okay, just a second, please.
Thank you very much for everything.
Thank you. Can you hear it?
Yes, yes, perfect. That's the sound you hear inside the gallery. As a bioartist, I'm working with organic materials. Some of them I grow. I'm making replace materials for leather and skin leather, for paper, and also bioplastic. These are microorganisms which I grow and dry them. And I'm not sure that you can hear it. If you are in Israel, you can come. It will be until the end of June. And I'm very excited, so my brain is not letting me to tell you more things, so you can ask me questions. If anyone have any question, I will be
Okay.
happy to answer.
Yeah, we don't have time for questions now. I'm very sorry. We wanna.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Find
you.
me on Instagram and Facebook, Liad Danieli. And
Yeah,
if
you can also share on the chat.
Okay, I will do it. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much.
Bye-bye.
And now I want to give I want to let Matan speak again, here besides me. Matan?
Wow, thank you for this. I haven't been to Alfred to see it, but now I want to go there as soon as possible. It's amazing. I'm going to tell you a bit about what we're going to do in the next session, because as you know, it's the Bee World Day. It's not one Zoom meeting, it's a day. So in our next session, we're going to have experts from all over the world. And we're talking about from Europe, from Australia, from many from the States, from all over the world that are going to give us a bit of their passion and their connection to bees. And I hope you will stay with us for this meeting of experts from all over the world. And I think if one good thing happened because of COVID-19 is that suddenly we managed to reconnect the entire human hive. And this is what's going to happen in our session. So we will put all the details in the chat, how to move to the next meeting. Each one is a different Zoom meeting. And I hope all of you will stay with us. Thank you so much. So far, it's been fascinating. And I want to also say one more thing. I want to thank our host, Ravit, for the beautiful hosting, and it's a pleasure. Ravit, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Nathan. Okay, our last guest for today, for this session, is Rami Fital. Rami is the CFO partner with an European venture capital